Hey guys, welcome back. This video is going to be a little different. Today I want to talk about the negative side effects of gaming, or the physical dangers of gaming, but I don't want to use the word danger because it sounds a little bit too harsh for my liking. The gameplay you're seeing is Black Ops 3. This is a domination match that I played with Erica, and we were absolutely on fire the whole match, so I thought you'd like to see that. But anyway, I'm not going to be the guy, just so I can make this clear, I'm not going to be the guy who comes on here and says, video games are evil, they make you violent, and they rot your brain. I'm not I'm not going to be that guy, okay? Obviously, I love games. I talk about them all the freaking time on my channel. I'd hope that you know that by now. But there are some things that games can do that negatively affect you, and I want to make everybody aware of that. I want you guys to know that there are things to look out for, there are things to be worried about, and I want everybody to enjoy gaming, but to stay safe and healthy while doing so. So in order to explain this first point, I have to give everybody a quick little science lesson, and I know you're not here for science or health, but I urge you to stick with me on this, because if you're an avid gamer like I am, you're bound to find this at least a little bit interesting. This may or may not be common knowledge, but I'm going to explain it anyway because I know there's some people watching this who don't understand this. Your brain produces something called dopamine whenever you experience a good sensation or you have something stimulating you. For example, when you eat really good food, or if you have fun with your friends, or if you watch a really good movie that makes you laugh, or if you have sex. You know, there's certain things that you do that make you feel really good or excited or just give you an overall great feeling. That is dopamine being released in your brain. When you play video games, there is a constant stimulation to your brain. You're always getting rewarded for some kind of action, or you're always worried about an enemy around the corner, or the next objective, or the next goal, and that creates a mass production of dopamine in your brain. Well, when your brain produces all that dopamine all the time, because let's be honest, we've all done this, we play games for 4 or 5 hours straight, our brain gets tired. And it doesn't happen right away. It doesn't happen in one day or 1 week or a month. It takes years to happen. But eventually, the receptors that produce dopamine in your brain are going to say, man, fuck this, we're exhausted, we've been doing this all the damn time, I quit. And when that happens, hello Parkinson's disease. Now that is something I don't want, and I don't think any of you guys want that either. Once again, I'm not here to say you need to stop gaming entirely because it's bad. I just think that we need to take it easy a little bit, because I know my days of staying up late at night playing games for 4 and 5 hours are definitely done. The next thing that kind of scares me that games can have an effect on is the frontal lobe of your brain. Now, the frontal lobe is responsible for very basic things like personality traits, anger management, decision-making, things like that. Stuff you do pretty much every day. And research has shown that playing violent games in particular has an effect on the frontal lobe, and it changes the brain activity. So basically, I'm sure a lot of you already know this already, but I'm going to explain it anyway so it's easier to understand. Whenever you do a task in real life, your brain physically structures itself around how you behave and what you do. It makes physical connections in your head. Your brain is structured by the way that you do things and the way that you learn. So what the research is basically saying is that when you play violent games, it messes with that structure and does something that makes it harder for you to make decisions easily or control your anger. And I can kind of vouch for that, because ever since I've been playing games in excess, more than usual, I've noticed that I have trouble making decisions. When my mom asks me, what do you want for supper? I sit there for like 10 minutes with a blank stare on my face and I say, I don't know. Sometimes I get angry about stuff that I shouldn't get mad about. And I'm not saying that video games are the only reason I have trouble deciding things or I have trouble managing my anger. There's obviously many other outside things that affect that. But I'm sure playing games hasn't helped me improve those issues at all. Now, I have heard, keyword heard, that playing violent games can physically shrink the frontal lobe of your brain. I spent about 2 hours on the internet today trying to find articles to prove or support that theory, and all I found was that playing violent games alters brain activity. I found no evidence that says it physically shrinks the size of your brain. And the last negative side effect of gaming that concerns me is nearsightedness. When you sit in front of a screen for so long, your eyes physically adjust so that they don't need to see at a distance, and eventually what happens is you get nearsightedness and you can't see things far away because your eyes have physically changed due to the fact that you're sitting in front of a screen that is a set distance away from you, and you're not working out your eyes by walking around in nature and looking at different things from different perspectives. So that's also something that worries me because I value my vision a lot. That is also why I will never own a VR headset, because that screen is so damn close to your eyes. Not only are you going to get nearsightedness, but you're going to get freaking radiation like none other, because screens do emit radiation, even your phone. That's why they tell you to not keep your phone in your pocket, because all that radiation getting emitted into your leg will eventually give you prostate or cervical cancer, since it is so close to that region of the body. And that's freaking scary too. So what is my solution to all of this? Well, I'm gonna try something, and I would like you guys, or at least some of you, because I know all of you won't do this, but I'd like some of you guys to try this with me. First of all, I'm going to seriously cut back on the amount of time that I recreationally game. Not only do I have to play when I record, but I also find myself playing for a good 4 or 5 hours at night when I party chat with my friends. I'll get on at like 8 or 9 o'clock and stay up until 1 in the morning, and that just has to stop. I'm probably going to limit myself to maybe 3 hours of gaming a day, give at least 1 hour for recording and then 2 hours for recreation. I think that's a pretty fair number. Second thing I would do is balance out the time that I spend doing things. You know, if I spend 3 hours playing games, then I also need to spend 3 hours doing other things. I will go outside for a while and maybe just walk your dog, sit on the front porch and read a book, or go for a run. I don't know. Hang out with friends. Go do something that makes you spend time outside. Get some natural sunlight to your eyes and look at things from a distance. You know, exercise your eyes. Make sure you don't get nearsightedness, obviously. Exercise. Exercising is great. I do it myself. And you know what? I'm going to tell you something right now. When I exercise, I feel good when I'm done, but it feels even greater when I come home and I play games, because I can sit there with that controller in my hand and say, you know what? I went outside today. I was productive. I exercised. I got all my stuff done. Now I can reward myself. And it feels amazing. Here's an interesting fact for you guys. Before I changed my name to Positively Negative, I was actually going to change it to The All Natural Gamer, because I'm really into eating healthy and I'm into health in general and making sure that I am as healthy as I can possibly be. And I also like to play games. So I thought that was really cool that two things that normally don't go hand in hand, I did both of them. And I was going to make that my username, but ultimately, of course, I settled on Positively Negative because I felt like it just fit what I was doing on the channel a little bit better. Now I'm just going to leave the video to play out because this is some awesome gameplay and I don't want it to go to waste, so you guys can enjoy that. But that's all I got today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, or at least found it educational. I mean, now you're smarter than you were before you watched the video, right? You're probably mad at me for saying all these terrible things about gaming, but I hope you liked it nonetheless. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll catch you later.
Be advised, hostile UAV incoming. Guardian deployed. Securing C.
Threat neutralized. Gunfleet KIA.
Securing Bravo.
Care package.
Bravo locked down.
HCX ready for target.
Losing A. Losing Alpha. Friendly UAV inbound. Enemy took Alpha. Friendly counter UAV inbound. Hostile UAV above. Securing C. A secure. Losing Alpha.
Nomad KIA.
XD in your AO. Losing B. Securing Charlie. Enemy took B.
KIA.
Looking good. Continue our mission. Charlie locked down.
EKIA. TACOM, request resupply. Deploying
Losing Alpha.
HCXD.
Losing C. Enemy took Alpha.